Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at another Marvel Omnibus, and that is the Young Avengers by Gillen and McKelvie. So without further ado, let's take a look at this book. Here is the cover of the book. Unfortunately, not the cover I would have wanted to go with, but I got this on a good deal, so this is the variant that they had. For you spine lovers like myself, here is the spine. And here is the back of the book, which says, The Young Avengers once more with feels. So what does the Young Avengers Omnibus collect? Well, this collects Young Avengers from 2013, issue 1 through 15, and also the Young Avengers story from Marvel Now .1, issue 1. So this was my first Young Avengers comic book that I ever read, and I was interested in it for two reasons. One, because my comic shop had this omnibus for only $20, which seemed like a very fair deal for 15 issues in oversized hardcover format, and then two, I wanted to learn more about Kate Bishop, who I have seen pop up here and there, and I've always enjoyed her, and then I also really enjoy her MCU interpretation, and then I also wanted to learn more about America Chavez too, because I just find her power set like supremely interesting. The added benefit here was getting to see Hulkling and Wiccan in action and as a couple together. It was my first time seeing that too, and I found them very endearing, so I totally get why they have a lot of fans. And the story of this run is basically about Wiccan bringing this interdimensional parasite that kind of wreaks havoc on their lives, and he was really trying to reunite Hulkling with a multiverse version of his mother who passed away, but this malicious entity took advantage of what was supposed to be his kind of good deed, and so our team has come together to stop it now. And aside from the characters I've already mentioned, that team also consists of Prodigy, who is a very cool mutant that I hadn't heard of before, and he's got this ability to basically absorb the knowledge of anybody he meets, although he is depowered in this due to the events of House of M, but he has retained previous knowledge from when he was actually a mutant with his abilities. And then also there is Marvel Boy, but it's not the one from the New Warriors. And then there's also Kid Loki, which is Loki basically in kid form, and this is, after the events of Siege, where Loki died and all that. There's a lot of Loki lore to explain all the Loki stuff, and I'm not like a big Loki expert, so I'm not privy on all that, but yeah, Kid Loki here. And so they embark on this journey into the multiverse to try and save their reality. It is pretty typical hero stuff, but there's a cool cosmic horror slant to it that I appreciated. I also want to compliment the team that was working on this book for using the medium in a really awesome way. There's just a ton of fun pages in here that give you insight into the story in sometimes a non-linear and non-traditional way that was like really satisfying to see. And this is written by Gillen, and it's really interesting now because there's 3 stories that I've read from him. The first being Journey into Mystery, which did not resonate with me at all. I was not the biggest fan of that. I know that's an unpopular opinion because a lot of people love that, but maybe that's what I was saying. Like, I wasn't picking up all the Loki lore in there. I was just getting tired and bored reading it, so I probably missed a lot of crucial details. And now I've read this, which I probably put like as sort of an average comic book. Like, I enjoyed it because it's a comic and it's got heroes that I like and heroes that I wanted to know more about, and it's got a very comic booky storyline, and like I said, it used the medium in a cool way, but nothing too substantial here. Aside from, a good story and some fun moments, which is definitely worth reading, for me at least. And then I've been reading his Immortal X-Men series, which is one of my favorite X-Men series that's going on right now. It's so good, it's so phenomenal. It is such an expert use of all the characters and everything that is in the toolbox of Krakoa, and I love it. So I don't know what to think of Mr. Gillen. Obviously, I know he's a very talented writer, and I don't want to diminish that in any way, but in regards to my personal preference and bias for stories, I don't know how to feel. I don't know if he's going to be one of my favorite writers, or, if Immortal X-Men is a diamond in the rough. I don't know, but I'm interested in reading more because this was fun too, a bit lighthearted. I'd like to see what else Gillen can do. I will say that this occasionally leans too hard into we're the youth of the superhero world, so we always have to be making pop culture and social media references. But aside from that, I really enjoyed the cleverness of the dialogue and the characterization of everyone on the team, and maybe it was just maybe I didn't like that particular style of the inserting pop culture and social media references just because I'm not the target demographic. I mean, I'm 25, maybe this was more geared towards actual teenagers, since it's Young Avengers. I do actually feel like they feel like teens in this book, which is pretty nice. and they feel like they're young folks just trying to get their bearing on the world and their identities, and I think that's always going to be a super relatable read for people and just kind of a fun area to explore with characters. So should you pick this up? Well, I think it really depends on your taste. Like if you're looking for something more lighthearted and you're interested in these characters, then I say yeah, go for it as sort of an introduction to them. If you're somebody who wants something with like a lot more substance and a bigger threat and a lot more stakes, even though there are stakes in here, but they don't necessarily feel as cataclysmic as some other storylines do sometimes, then I'd say maybe skip this one and go for a storyline that has some more longevity where they can really build up stakes. There is another Young Avengers Omnibus that's being printed here shortly that's got the Children's Crusade stuff in it, which I haven't read, but I've heard that's really phenomenal too. So I'm definitely going to check that one out, and I think it might sort of tap on some of those things that would satisfy a reader who's looking for just a little bit more. I also want to add that I think the artwork in here is really gorgeous too. That is by Jamie McKelvie, who I don't know if I've seen their artwork before. Maybe I haven't, I just haven't noticed because it does look familiar, but I can't think of another book that they've worked on. Anyway, let me know if you guys plan on picking this up. I think you can still get it for fairly cheap, so it might be one just to give a try, see if you enjoy Young Avengers stories, see if you enjoy some of these characters. Do let me know if you've read it or you're planning on reading it. I'd love to hear what you think, and you all have a great rest of your day. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.